James.
I was I've been wanting to cover this for a while, and you guys know about the 90-day. I don't know if you can see that the 90-day fiance. Hold on, let me see if I can get up to the camera. No, I guess it's too bright. The 90-day fiance show, right? And you see people coming, people going over to different countries, American women and American men going over to different places, and then you have some people, they marry them and they bring them back to the States. And one of the things that, out of all the people I watched on that show, it was the young lady, she's from Columbus, Ohio, which is here, and she married a guy from Syria. And before she prepared herself for Syria, she was thinking like to be a wife, and how she prepared. She converted over there to his religion and everything, so it made the transition to go. And that's one of the smartest things that she could have done. So for a lot of these women, and it was like this one particular woman, this young woman, you probably heard this one. Her name is Nicole, and it's a new one. It's Nicole, right? This woman right here. And when she first got over there, she was it was in Morocco basically, and her husband, her boy, almost a fiance right now, he's trying to tell her that there's certain things that we can't do because we're going to stay in separate rooms, because in some of the Middle Eastern countries, the men can't sleep with the women. They can't do what they do in the United States. They can't, you can meet somebody, you can spend night, you can have one night stands, different like things like that here in the country. But you in a place like Morocco or Tunisia and a few other places like that, you can't, and you about to get with somebody, if that marriage ain't official, you can't live with them. And one of the things I want to comment about is this, and this is for advice for people that will go on the show. If you're gonna get on that show, and you plan on meeting a spouse, or you overseas, in particularly the country like Morocco, Tunisia, Jordan, or someplace like that, get to know the culture, because the way they do things in certain communities, of Arab communities, for example, because they're mostly Arab, and the majority are Muslim. They're not the Christian Arabs. They're the Muslim Arabs, and the Muslim Arabs have a stricter way of, hey, you just can't do what you do over here. You have to. I heard a young lady was talking on this one YouTube show. It was African diaspora, and she was talking with the host on it, and she's from Africa, and she said the main thing about it is when you go over to their country, people have to realize you have to dress according to them laws. If you don't dress according to the laws, you can end up in jail or something like that. Particularly if you spend that over there, and your privilege will be able to help you over there, because some places probably don't even honor, certain things that America do. Then you end up in some kind of jail, and you make it, and that person who is your mate will have a hard time, because they like, hey, you ain't supposed to be showing that kind of affection in public. And they're very strict though. They're very strict in some of the Middle Eastern countries. And I have seen 4 women like Nicole go over there. One woman was from Tunisia. She was from Georgia. And she went over there with tattoos hanging off and half dressed and everything. And the dude was trying to tell her, hey, you can't go out there, like this ain't America, you can't go out there doing something like that because you're going to catch attention. And so she goes out with this tattoo wearing, because she just think that she's one of the women that just think they're entitled. You don't realize you're in another freaking country. And not only you in another freaking country, they have a certain Islamic laws in their country. And I don't know why these women, they fall for these Middle Eastern dudes, right? And that some of these Middle Eastern dudes who are Muslim, it's not so much, if they were Christian, I can understand, or you kind of can slide away with things like that. But if they in a traditional Muslim family, you have to kind of think about that, because they're really strict about things, and they don't want to be the talk of the village or the talk of their town over there. So my suggestion is to people, if you're going to marry someone that's particularly in Islamic faith, you might want to meet people over here, that's in the religion, and basically, meet somebody. There's some people that work in, if you're a woman, make friends with a Middle Eastern woman, and show your husband, and just ask some questions about what do I need to do to be a wife, because I'm converting over to Islam. They will give you the ins and out. And I don't know why some of these American women that get on that show somebody could have told them, if they would just meet somebody online and just ask them, they would tell you, the people that's from over, and what the culture, everybody is not westernized. They they come over here westernized, but there's certain things that even in certain people who, particularly Islam is one of the real strict religion, like Hinduism and a few other religions, they're very strict. So, and then you have people, they'll go get up them a wife, and they'll go get them a wife because they know that Western women are kind of wild and stuff like that, and they catch heck for that. And it may seem kind of bravo over here. Now the people over in the Middle Eastern, who are some Africans and others who are Muslim, because you have some Pakistani people and things like that. And see, they got a plan, they got a motive. But when you become your wife, it ain't like any other. When it comes, especially when it comes to, and we all human. I understand we all human, but people take things. There's a standard, and so they take their religion really serious over there. So I don't get why some of these women in this that are from America, they meet some guy because he look good or something like that. He's in fit shape, and he comes from the Middle East, and you know that his family is strictly Muslim, and he's not going to abandon. Not too many going to abandon their families and friends because they don't want to be ostracized from the society, because it caused rift in the family because you lay down with basically someone outside the religion, basically like an infidel. So I think that's what the terminology called. So some may slip and dip on the side as far as sex and everything, but when it comes to marriage, that's a whole different ball game. And I just don't understand when you see the people, women like Nicole and a few other ones who meet guys. It was, and she said, and then the one from Georgia, the one that had her husband, her fiance in Tunisia, she had a Moroccan guy, and it's like, okay, now Morocco is another Muslim country, is a majority Muslim country, and even though there are some Christians and other groups over there, his parents are traditionally Muslim. And then it was another woman that went to. It was another woman. She was from. I think she was from Canada, and she went to think was somewhere in there, Jordan, not Jordan, but it was one of the other Arab countries that, they traditional, and she had to wear the hijab and things like that. And so, and it's the same thing that I seen the one woman that went over to Africa, and she went to the northern part of Nigeria, and I knew that wasn't gonna fly. And it'd be one thing if he'd have been, and I hate to say it, maybe could have slid if it was with Christian, but ain't no tradition, no Muslims who are traditionally Islam. They strict. They just as strict as their Arab brothers. So they're not gonna just. You're not just gonna come. You either someone's gonna convert in that family because you talk about something that's been rooted in tradition, and what the elders do. That's the way it goes. And so American women need to understand that. It's the same way. Like, I've seen some beautiful Muslim women, but realistically, if I believe in Yeshua, Jesus, and I believe that He's the Son of God, even though they can believe in Jesus, but they don't believe in the same spiritual system as what we normally do, because they believe Jesus is a prophet, and that's as far as it goes. He's a good man. He's a prophet. They don't believe that he's the connection. He's the doorway to God. And so, and that's not being. That's just fact. And some teach like that. They be like, well, we know of Jesus, but we just believe that the Jesus that you know was a prophet. They don't know that He's the one that did the most miraculous things. I mean, and if they did, it would be. Some do, but some majority of them don't. And so that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, the reason why I brought that up is because maybe they be more lenient in their culture, as far as that. Even if it's a Muslim family here in the States, they'll, like everybody, if they're here, they allow their kids to do so much, but they're not going to go all the way American. And they'll tell their kids, hey, you got to, there's a certain limit. And everybody has a certain limit and stuff like that. Even though, their kids is kind of like progressive and Western, and young people are real Western and progressive, but you got to understand this. And so I don't understand with some of the people that go on it. This is one young black lady. She's beautiful, but she's too, she's real flashy part in the hip hop video. You'll probably see it if you watch 90 Day Fiance. And she's in Jordan. And his father, his father telling what she got to do. We strictly with Islam. With Islam, does she know what the marriage is? Does she know what the situation is? She's so caught up, and she got married to the dude. Yeah, I guess she got engaged to the dude already, or something like that. She didn't even though she's 25 years old, and I don't know. I guess it's because they have a certain appeal or exotic look. Yes, there's some people that are attractive, but when it comes to them people that come from out of them countries, they're not going to put their life on the line and their livelihood because if you plan on living in their country, you got to go by their rules. If you plan on a Middle Eastern and bring him to the United States, even among the men here, they will kind of look at you sideways. Or they say, because they might think, hey, that's your side piece or something like that. No, that's my wife. What? Some will look at you like, what the heck? Even though that we in America. So I'm saying this to say this, and that's it. And everybody, and it was, and it's not just that. You even got some people that meet people in Russia. And I understand, you have to study the culture. In other words, study the culture of people. Whatever person, when you meet your international wife or husband, study the culture over there. Get the idea of the language or customs. I remember years ago, this is my little personal testimony. I never fell through with it, but I was thinking about going to the Philippines. Now, I got the writing to this woman. And we hit it off. It's just that something happened where I was just young and mature, and I didn't get a chance to go to the Philippines. But even though the people do speak English in the Philippines, but I want to understand more about the Philippine culture. So I went and got about 5-6 books on the Philippines and different authors, and then what they do, what to wear, what they eat, what not to do. So you have an understanding when you married to that woman, and I think it's vice versa. If they marry an American, they understand how American people are. You have an understanding of what's going on in that culture. I see a lot of people go on 90-day fiance. Some of the marriages never work out is because they never took time to study them. They get caught up in the thrill and the fantasy of no. It's more than that. You taking on marrying someone and they taking on your name, you taking on their name. It's a whole different ball game. So what I'm saying, if you plan on meeting a mate overseas, let's say I was going to Colombia, I'm gonna get the books on Colombia. I want to get the culture on Colombia, music, everything, the food, everything, because in the culture, learn there are different things. Not only learn the language that you understand, and that's just wisdom right there, because now you understand. And it makes the relationship a lot easier. And not only that, you flowing in the language, you understand. Even though you're an outsider, but if you get equipped enough, you understand what's going on. And you can't be in an American mindset and think that it's just they're told to learn me. Now if they come here, that's a totally different ballgame. But when you go over to their country, I think that the people on 90 Day Fiancé, some of the people that go, they have to go with a realistic approach. They gotta be reality. You can't go looking for having lust, and all for the looks and all whatever reason. Whenever you meet, just like you would meet somebody here, you have to know the culture. That's the main thing in the language, and it can work out. Some people have had worked out over there, but it took an adjustment, and you gotta meet them halfway. And you should see a lot of those women like that. They don't meet halfway, and particularly the one with Angela and the one guy from Nigeria. She got that American bossy attitude, and I agree with what they were saying, because that's America. Well, and they tell me in America women the bossiest on the way. And I agree with some of them over there. Yeah, American women do get bossy, because they had it. They express a certain way. They have a certain vibe and a mindset over here in the United States. But when you go and particularly this guy's bringing you around his people and his culture and everything, you have to respect that. I mean, you ain't gotta let nobody run you over. But if you're gonna go into an interracial relationship with somebody, for one, and that's the one. It's an interracial relationship. So they already objected that already, because they want somebody of the language and of their culture. But they tried to respect that. Number two thing that it was, they really big on wanting to continue their legacy. So they want their son to have a woman who has childbearing, so they carry on the name and look like that. That's the reason why they want somebody. And they're not the only people. There's people like that all over. I mean, in certain parts of the world, they want somebody that looks similar to them, and particularly is going to be a wife in the age. Now, in some cases, even some men got went down over there, because the one guy that did try to get with the Filipino women, he had all these high standards and everything. He had all these, she had to do this, she got to do that, and what the audience was took from that, from what I seen on people made online, was, why do you just take your kid with her? Why did you just leave your kid, and maybe you could have offered him a better hotel while he was over. You could have did something like that, but he didn't do that. They kind of criticize her, and I mean, this woman is young woman living in that's their reality. That's their condition over there. And so he started freaking out and everything. But you can't. I mean, dude, you're going to a country. It's not too westernized like America. So you got some stupid ass Americans that go with that kind of mindset. I mean, really, it's the most Americans. Some people, man, they look look bad, man, going on that show. I mean, you have to understand that the language is the one thing. Just start with your basics and research that country, their food, that culture. If you gonna plan I don't care if I was going to marry a Dominican or whatever. Learn their culture. Well, she might can speak, yeah, because you're going to see some things that you may not understand, and particularly you're going to live in that part of the world. So that's one thing about that, and I've been wanting to make a video on that, and I've seen it time and time over and over again. It's like, but particularly with the women, these westernized women that go into a Middle Eastern country with majority of fiance is their fiance is of the Islamic faith, and that's just and they say, oh, and their family asking, tell me about this girl. Well, is she gonna convert over later on? Is she gonna convert over to our faith? And this woman just wilding out and acting crazy, and they say, no, and I mean, and they give him the runaround, they give him the blues. They tell him, you done lost your damn mind. Bring this woman over to our family. And so this is what I think. And when you marry somebody, the spiritual side is just important. It's the physical looks, the spiritual side. And like I said, there's some beautiful Islamic, like I mentioned, I didn't get a chance to finish this earlier. There's some beautiful Muslim women, but realistically, I couldn't get with them unless I convert them to the religion. And even though I said they're nice and people are nice, and I ain't got nothing against nobody, but the reality part, the spiritual alignment system is not going to line up, because pretty much it's lined like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There is God, the prophet, and whoever's in between. And I mean that's it. But it's a separate, and it's not different. It's not the same. It's a separate spiritual system. And if you try to marry the two systems, it's not gonna work. Even though that the Quran and the Bible have the same thing, but they're totally different, and some mean different because certain Muslim sectors of the faith give credit to the Prophet, and they quote this quote about Allah, and then His Prophet, blessed is His Prophet, not bless Yeshua, not bless Jesus, bless the Prophet, and that's in some Islamic faiths. That's in some of the towns. So they're up under and they have to we chant that and say that phrase. I mean, they say that in praise or worship or however they do it, and that's a separate system. But if you love that person, and in a case with like the one young woman from Columbus, she, her parents, I think they was raised up in the church, but her friends was. But they told, but she was young enough and mature enough to know, I'm going to convert, even though her family didn't like it, but that was her choice to go over to the Islamic faith. And not only that she went to the Islamic faith, she had a husband, so it made the transition over to her going to Syria or Lebanon to see much easier, because Lebanon and certain parts of Syria and all them other places, mostly the Middle Eastern women. Now they had Christian women over there, but most of the women wear hijabs and things like that. I mean, some of them that wear hijabs are strictly strict Muslims. So what I'm saying is basically, that was used as an example. and people in Islam are some of the nicest people. But there's a certain, but again, it's a certain level when it comes to spiritual. So that's why you can get along piece by piece, but that's as far as it go. But when you come to intermarrying, no, it's a clash. And I don't care. It's not just Islam. I don't care. It could be Buddhist. It could be Hindu. It could be some Gnosticism. Any other religions, because there's a separate spiritual system that eventually it affects the family, because it's either all, especially if you plan on having children, it's all for one, and it's like mommy is Christian, daddy is Islam. So that goes through. It's kind of some people do that, but I think it probably sets more confusion because there's a certain spiritual system that everybody go. You can have friends and go to school with people of different religions and shop, eat, and do everything you want, but there's a spiritual system, and people in America and elsewhere like this have to understand that, and so that's why either you convert to their religion or else. And in some places, like the case with the one older woman over in that had her fiance in India, even though they were in love, but now he's catching all kind of mess because people over in India, they already have, some people already got their sons and daughters made up just to keep the tradition going on. And that's the truth. And that's the same with some Middle Eastern, some people, they already got someone that's acceptable because the success of their family and the name and things like that. And so, and it's a thing because it's a thing with the family, the extended family, the village, and all that over there. And that's what I've seen. I've seen people when they step outside that they pick someone outside their norm, and the family cut them off. Literally cut them off. I knew it personally. An ex-co-worker of mine, his daughter married a guy. The parents was from India. Now she's a teacher. She's successful. He's successful. I don't know what he does. He's successful. I mean, she's white. She got blonde hair, blue eyes. They got a good family background, but his family still did not accept the fact that they didn't want this woman to be his wife. It's strictly in the Hindu religion. This is the truth. And the reason, and I said, dang, because she's fair skinned. I'm thinking to myself, if they have kids together, they're gonna have pretty kids. But there's strictly, they go back, and when they graduate from school and college, they go get somebody, go back, their parents go back over to India somewhere and have them set up, or somebody else in some part of the United States and introduce to them. And this is a fact. And so a lot of people don't that's why you don't see too many people interracially in marriage and stuff like that with other people, because they know they family and people cut them off just like that. And I know for some people who describe it, but people are people. I agree with you. I agree that they agree, but these people come from a part of the world. That's what they traditions and they condition and they train to see things like that. They train it. It's okay to deal with you on a professional, business, educational, medical business and stuff like that. But that's far as it goes. And so, but most of the time, most of these people, they marry their own people. The majority of the time, they marry their own people. And particularly, what I knew with the young black woman with the Jordan film, I said, I don't know that's gonna work. She's too flamboyant. She's all like revealing skin and want to be a model and things like that. And she, but she's not following a tradition of a Muslim woman. And I think to a certain degree, they might have some kind of color code over there. So, and she's a beautiful black woman, but it's like, why would you? I don't understand, and I understand that there are some American women, black and white. You fall for these dudes, but these Middle Eastern cats, man, they come from strict. We try to tell you as Americans that it's a whole different ball. The male is a dominant system over there. Their system is totally different than your American man system. They ain't go, you know. It's like what rule. That's it. It's the way it go, and that's why they come out stern like that. And so either you're gonna be my girl, you're gonna one day be my wife. Eventually you're gonna have to go by the Islamic way, cover everything up, take the makeup off and everything else, and I don't know why, because, and I tell you, remember Janet Jackson? Her baby's father was from Saudi Arabia. When she lived in Saudi Arabia, she wasn't like Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson had a cover. She had a black, and those you've seen those old pictures of Janet Jackson. She covered from head to toe, and her husband, and she, but she was, again, you get some women that want to marry the status and the wealth of because the looks of the man, and particularly a Middle Eastern man. Anyway. I mean, and the ones, not only they Islamic, they're from Islam, so they people really strict on that stuff over there. I'm telling you, you gotta get your head chopped off and taken off over there. Get in the, and there was a couple incidents, and that was the one incident on 90 Day Fiance. The second, and then there was the one other incident. What was it? The one with the Canadian woman. She kind of, that was kind of wrong what she did. I mean, she kind of embarrassed the dude, bringing sexual toys to the man. I mean, that it kind of was kind of disrespectful. And even though whatever his issues was, but I seen it was more like her issues. She's an older white female trying to go for some young Don Juan over in the Middle East. And these young, and I know is that these Westernized, whether they're from Canada, we women from America or Canada, and they go over with this naive mindset, like you go to the Middle East and just bring your Western ways in the mostly dominated male country, like over there. It's a different show over there. Well, I mean, I just scratched my head like, why would you meet some guy from over there? You could have missed. And again, just if you don't know about any of those Middle Eastern cultures, let's talk to a Middle Eastern man and woman, and hopefully make friends with them. And hopefully they keep it real with you and say, hey, you go over here, but I don't know too much about the country. But when it comes to the faith of them, this is what even though that we in America, we make money and we go to school and work with you guys, but this is the way that goes over here. And so you have to be very open and understand. And like I said, for me as a man, if I was get with the Muslim women, if I plan on having a serious and marriage relationship, then I had pretty much almost like I gotta renounce my spiritual system, get with her spiritual system. And I mean, and I know that's not necessarily. If it's tradition, it is. If they want a traditionally strictly Muslim family, yes, because it's like no, I'm gonna go to church or something. I'm just using that as an example. Oh no. I mean, it's like we can do business and eat things like that, but when it comes to marriage and family and gatherings and things like that, I mean, people would gather with you socially and things like that, but when it comes to a relationship and marrying into someone's family, that's a whole different ball game. So that's what I wanted to say about a couple of cases on there. And people do not research these countries. they bitch and they complain. You know, you see them when they do the after shows and everything. They bitch and complain, and they just didn't figure out what was wrong. And you got the one older guy that went over there and met the Ukrainian woman, and she put him through all kind of. He spent about close to $70,000 over there. Again, you know, and people telling us from the Ukraine like this, hey, this the way. These women over there, even Ukrainian men telling this stuff. Hey, sometimes, hey, he didn't want to believe it. She's in love with me, dude. You know, she just doing that because she trying to get some paper, man. I mean, her intentions were not to be in love with you. You know, she's put you through all kind of different questions, and people trying to. You see it on the show. They trying to tell the dude, don't do it. So I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. And then you got the one older black woman out there in Las Vegas. You know, she I don't know what's wrong with her. You know, she caught up in the looks. She wants somebody muscle bound. I mean, was nothing wrong with but dang, why can't you meet somebody muscle bound? You know, here, you know. Or there's people from different foreign nations is in the United States that's probably single. You know, that's my feeling on that. You know, and if kids trying to tell it wasn't that someone stole some guy's photo who was a model, and kind of find out he got this some kind of guy with some real weird accent, probably from over someplace like Nigeria somewhere. Or one of countries like that with a weird accent. It didn't even sound British. You know, it didn't even sound British. But yeah, talk about this is the couple I was talking about. The one chick is on right now. The young woman. This couple right here is the black woman. Now he's from Jordan and she's from Miami. I think she's from Florida. This and again, and they said that Brittany, her name is Brittany Banks, and his and
Azim's family. Again, she's revealing everything. I mean, when they first introduced it, she's unclad and uncovered. You know, if her dad would have seen, his dad would have seen that crap, he would slap the mess out of him because she's not being traditional, and that's basically what I'm saying. And it's just telling about the relationship now, how it's on the rocks, and how Yassine want him to work Islam. And again, watch this.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
Hold on. Well, this is the one I'm talking about. Now, I mean, she's 25 years old. 25 years old, you know, and I don't know if this young woman ever did any research on the country where her fiance from or anything. But you know, these women, they don't do no research. They don't research their fiance's country. Excuse me. And then one part of the show where he left her at the doggone airport, he got pissed at her. You know, she had to cover up and things like that. And then here it is. Here's this one thing where he said Yazin has been hopeful that Banks will convert to Islam and become more conservative, but Banks has no plans to.
26 years old, and I'm from Palm Beach, Florida. I have a fiance, and my fiance is 24 years old. His name is Yazan.
Hi, I'm Yazan. I'm 24 ago, and I'm from Jordan. My fiance is really nice. She's my love. She's so cute.
The story's kind of crazy. His sister actually was living here. I started talking to her brother because she would FaceTime him every day, and we would just look at each other like. We just started talking more, and we just fell in love like pretty quickly. And I was just like, I honestly
Yes, it's so good girls. Yeah, it's cute and smart.
I decided to go to Jordan and meet my boo.
Jordan.
When I went to go see him, I was really excited.
Islamic country.
Automatically connected. It was like crazy. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but the proposal was kind of awkward. He ended up just taking me ring shopping and like, just pick out the ring that you like. Now I'm finally engaged and I'm moving to Jordan.
She gonna move to Jordan.
Shop. When I first went there, I was not used to the neighborhood that he was living in. I wasn't used to anything like that.
Look at the dress.
Like dirt road, and there was like half.
You think she gonna go with dress like that?
The jobs are crazy. They're not like American jobs. The toilet was in the floor. It was really, really awkward. I couldn't just go out wearing the clothes that I brought. I had to go to a shop and get like very covered. It was very traditional.
When you go out of the house, you must be dressed like hijab. Hijab, that's the Muslim.
Yazan is a strict Muslim.
Yes.
Yazan has never pushed me to convert, but I'm worried that when I'm there, it's going to be an issue because of his family. It's just, I'm very much an independent woman, and I like doing what I want to do. I would be giving
That ain't gonna happen.
moving to Jordan. My life in Miami is like fabulous. I'm very much a girly.
Miami's more revealing.
My hair done all the time. I love to get my nails done all the time. I like to go shopping for the cutest outfits and bathing suits. I like to look sexy like a Barbie doll. My friends, we go out on yachts.
You can't do that in Jordan.
Giving up a lot. Like, where am I going to get my fillers and my Botox? I've never given up this much in my life. It's actually really sad.
Oh my goodness.
I love Yazan so much that I'm
She
willing to
she love him though.
I love it so much because it is
Call it lust.
for any women. I look into her eyes, I see the wall. I love it.
I just really don't know how it's going to work out because I've never given up this much.
It'd be a miracle.
for anyone ever before.
And that's the thing about he's just heard he's strictly Muslim. She thinks she gonna go like she do in Miami, and I'm surprised, and I don't understand why his sister didn't even give him a heads up about, and they had this conversation. I mean, she's so caught up in her brother, and I mean, so I don't, and her sister is westernized, so she should know how they are back in Jordan. And I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's just I don't understand these American women, man. I mean, they go over there with this naive attitude, like again, a guy from the Middle East. I mean, you're gonna have to cover up. You can't dress like you in Miami in New Jordan. And but they so caught up in his looks. That's all what it's all about, his looks. I mean, it's one thing you attracted somebody if he was going to leave Islam or something like that, but he's not going to leave his religion for you.
And we both were just like,
He's not going to leave his religion.
each other at the first moment.
You got to cover up, do like Janet Jackson did.
The sweetest, so supportive, and he's so loving and very protective. Yeah. After about 4 weeks, Yazan actually sent me money to get a plane ticket to come see him. A week after I arrived in Jordan, Yazan proposed to me, and I was like, yes. So I decided I was going to move to Jordan to be with my love.
So move to Jordan just within a week. Don't know nothing about this culture. And she's looking like with her stomach out and everything. Don't know nothing about these people. They don't know nothing about these people. Don't study the culture, and that's what I'm saying. You don't know nothing about these people. They tradition. Yeah, everybody's cool, and they cool with you when they own businesses, things like that. But when you come into their family, that's a whole different ball game. I don't understand these, man. I don't understand these. I don't understand these women, American women. That they so, all the, you could have met some. If that's the case, then you better all meet some dude that's from Jordan, from the United States. Heck, you go up to Michigan, New Jersey, if you want to, and you would have got a good idea. You don't have to go all the way to Jordan, because there's a lot of single Middle Eastern men up there in Michigan, and probably there's some in New Jersey and New York. They could have hipped her to the game, and that's it. And they got family back in these countries. See, that's something that people need to communicate this out to. There's no, and let's say, if I met a lady there's no way I would meet something from Jordan, knowing that okay, you're gonna have to convert over to that those people's religion. Now, if, like I said again, if they're Christian, it could be cool, but it was just traditionally Islam, no, that ain't gonna fly. I knew that relationship gonna have, it's gonna be heck, and it's all what it is. It's lust, and all about he looks, she look, he look. Wait a minute. Once you get past the looks, the reality sets in. Once you get past a person's look, people are so caught up in the looks. That's why a devil can transfer, make it look like he's the most handsomest man, but in the end he's gonna have to show his real self, that he's the devil. You fell for it. Next thing you know, you married to a devil. I'm just using it as an example. And like there's a certain scripture in the Bible, he transferred himself like an angel of light. So he gonna look like the best looking man on the planet. But reality is that he be like, he's so memorizing, he's so handsome, but he's the devil. The devil don't come look with pick horn and horns on top of his head. Satan don't come looking like that. He don't look like that. I'm using that as an example, and that people get so caught up in look, and whether it's women or whether there is men, you have to be careful, because there's some women are crazy, and it's just that. So that's I had to chime in on this one, man, and I see this over and over and over. Like I was telling you about the young woman, and she, now the one I showed, she left her daughter in the States to go be with him in Morocco, and so while she's there, they ain't married, right? Yeah, right. She's having a fit because she won't spend night and give him a kiss. He said, I can't do that. I mean, we in my aunt's house and stuff like that. They strictly, why can't you hold me? I don't understand why. Come on, I need you to hold me and stuff like that. And I'm like, do you understand? These young women, it's not America, it's not Canada, it's not Britain. They in the Islamic country. It's like, dang, what is wrong? I mean, it's just that they tradition over there. And people, and I know that we all people, and yes, we're all people, but every people have a degree of things. And we could be friendly, we can go to school, we can cut the rug in the club and everything else. But when it comes to relationships with people, marriage and stuff like that, that takes on a whole different meaning. That's all what I'm saying. I'm not shit. But some people don't even use the common sense. If I meet somebody overseas, do the research on the country, learn, get 4 different books on that country, just like I did with the Philippines. Even though I didn't with the Philippine woman, but now I have an idea what the Philippine people are like. So when if I would have went to the Philippines, I wouldn't have been shocked. I wouldn't have been surprised what the system was, what the condition of it was, because by people who have read and been over there, and people who are Filipino and write about their culture, that would kind of like give me an idea. And I'm just saying that as a fact. you know, that's why some of these relationships don't work out. And then, you know, particularly, you know, you meet somebody from a different part of the world. It didn't even work out. What it was, the two women that were lesbians, you know, it didn't even work out with them. And that one with the two, one woman went over to Australia, and she, you know, two women that got, you know, and it was fighting, it was drama. It's like, man, you know, so it didn't even turn out to them. You really got to, overall, what I learned from this, overall, when you get to live with somebody and saying that you love and getting intimate with somebody, and you bring them as someone to carry on, or you carry on their name, whatever, it's a whole different ball game. Marriage is, people don't see it realistically. You literally giving your life to somebody, and you giving them. That's what the marriage vows is really about. Because you marry them, and you marry their family, and particularly overseas, you marry their culture, you marry their religion, everything about them. And so, you know, no, I want to keep no, if you're gonna go with Yazin, basically this is how the way it goes. Because if he don't honor one thing, he's gonna catch it from his father and his uncles and his brothers. So they don't tell you about stuff like that. And they're like, hey, you know, they be talking, and if they you present, that's why they talk in their native language. And they tell you know what time it is. You know that don't go down. You gonna get us hemmed up. Y'all can't. This ain't America. You know, you have to get up out of here because, you know, they have strict rules. But but she had this the one that left her child over there. You know, left her child to be with that guy in Morocco. And it's just like, I don't know. They live a fantasy land, man. This is the couple. The one that left her baby and go to Morocco. Now the first scene, and it's just, and now she's stuck over there in Morocco. You know, oh my goodness, you can't make this stuff up. But I didn't realize this. Some people just, they dingbats, man. They really dingbats. There's some dingbat people. And you got the one woman with Uzman, Lisa, baby girl. You know, this woman, she really, you know, I understand dude was on some stuff too, but that relationship wasn't going to work. And his mama wouldn't accept it because they're Muslim. And not only that, they said they just didn't like them. And his mom said, I don't want you marry no white woman. Because white, you know, and you've seen what his mom is. This is it. Uzman was trying to do it for his own gain, trying to get popularity and see him get over it. And you know, we always see where that was going. I mean, a little bit both had doing some deception on each part, but it's unrealistically. And then, you know, again, you marry an African dude like Angela, trying to have you can't have a baby. You'll kill yourself trying to have a baby at 50-something years old. Very seldom a woman can bear that kind of pain. But, you know, to carry on his name, so it's like you might as well give it up. You know what I'm saying? And Mike over, and you know, his friends are trying to tell him things, and they know how the way things go in Nigeria. It's like, dude, what do you think? Oh, shut up. Start smacking him across the head like, come on now. She can't have, it's tradition. She gotta have my kid. Dude, she that practically killed herself. And for what I seen, that she got some medical stuff going on, so she ain't gonna be able to have a kid anyway. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. And the age part about it. The age part. One thing, they're always fighting. She's too controlling. You know, trying to control his manhood and everything. And then some people from the United States try to tell him, you gonna move to the United States and move to Georgia? In some part of Georgia? Oh my goodness. in the part of, and there's certain parts of Georgia, as you all know, they still kind of stuck in time, So we got to deal with that such element over here. So it's not. Plus, her mom is about to die, so why would and her mother, Angela's mother's about to die practically, so she's on her last leg, come on. I mean, really. Come on. Like, come on. I just don't get it with these people on this show. And, so if you go down, at least try to brush. Now, one thing about me, like, for example, if I was talking to someone in South America or something like that, or one of the Spanish-speaking countries, I have an idea of what I'm getting into, because the church that I went to was mostly people that came from that part of the world. Colombia, there were a few Colombian people, there were a few Honduran people from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and see, I went and I interacted with them, and so even though I wasn't really fluent in Spanish, it gave me kind of a buffer of idea. So if I ever go, I know what, I kind of have an idea what the custom is about, the way they customize them and what they do and not do. And it's just something that is God, and a lot of people don't have that. So they have tensions in their relationships. And that's the truth. That's the reason why it doesn't work out, because they never studied the culture and never and realistically. And then the people over there coming over here with unrealistic idea that, Dominican trade, we're gonna be rich. No, and street paved the gold. Oh no, America got some issue just like any place else. It's like American trade. You get to America, you can do anything. No. It's not paved with. It's not going to be paved with gold. Not everybody's rich driving around a Rolls Royce. We got there's a caste system here, and there's a class system here, just like there is in other places. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make this. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's crazy, man. People are just, they live in an unrealistic world. And Janet Jackson and Janet Jackson's a well-known celebrity. That's another one I was saying earlier. But her baby's daddy is in Saudi Arabia. That I knew that wasn't going to work out, and she probably got caught up in his looks and how much, because he's a billionaire. They could think he's like something one of the Saudis, one of the princes or something like that. It's unreal, and then you go to Saudi Arabia, that cover up and everything, and they, to a certain degree, they got a certain way they look, what the women looked at over that system over there. And you're a black woman. I don't even want to think about that. But I say this in this tradition, they under the same kind of rulership, Islam. It's the same thing, but even though they're family and some westernized, they kind of let things go. But it's like a small probably pocket where you could be westernized and women can not work. But not all the Arab countries are like that. You got to follow what they say, or it can be jail or death over there. I'm saying, and I feel like this. And the only way for someone like Yazin is to get another Middle Eastern woman from another part of the world. I mean, you can go to Lebanon, or let's meet somebody here. Is an American single Muslim woman. What you will figure something like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know why they try to that's not going to work on so many different levels because of tradition and family. And like I said, and the one young lady, because she understood. That's what made her relationship with it was Avery, and she's from here, from Ohio, and her story. She converted Islam. She did everything but she loved Alex, and his name is Alex, right? And so so when she went over to meet his family, everything clicked. The family just loved her because she's willing to compromise, to go over there and compromise. And that's what the thing about it. That's why I believe they're gonna work out. When the time comes. Now, right now, I think it's because he lives in one of the countries that they have that strict border. But I just want to access that. I'm sorry to sound like a ramble on too long, but I had to show you this. So the basic advice I would say: research, learn the language, learn everything about the country, history, present, past, what they're currently doing right now. Thirdly, if you don't know, if you get online with somebody and ask people, whether it's a Facebook group, YouTube, maybe, so they can give you an idea. If you don't, maybe somebody in the town. Meet some people who are of that part of the world when you go over there. And they'll keep it real with you. They'll keep it real, whether it's a man or woman. Let them tell you, okay, and you say, hey, I'm planning on meeting somebody in Lebanon, and they come out of a Muslim family. What do I need to expect? If you're a woman, it's he's Lebanon. Oh, he was. Well, this is what we do. Well, let it keep. I hope we keep it real with you. You can't go over with that Western mindset. This the way the men is the culture, and listen to them. Don't be up there butting heads with them and get offensive. Let him keep it real with you, because he could practically save your life. Something that can literally save your life. You go over there, you don't want to be locked up and go get him jacked up or get him beat on a pole or something. Somebody be smacking his feet because of something. You disobey some kind of law over there. That's how they roll down, or they get a fine or get beat or something like that. And these American, some of these people in America, they don't understand it. In the West, you don't understand this when you go over that part of the world. It can literally cost you your life, your freedom, or worse, they can beat the crap out you and practically kill you because you disrespected something in their culture. And that's how they serious. That's why some people over here, they'll tell you. That's probably why they ain't back in their country. That's why some of them are over here, or different places like Canada and America and England, because they know how to go. They know how to get down. They know there's certain things that, and they probably have a dispute among their family member. That's why some they say, and you right in the middle of it. You don't know they talking in Arabic and everything else, and cussing them out and calling it, and you can tell when they get pissed because they can get the hyping up their voice and certain motions and stuff like that. But you sit as American, you're westernized person, you don't know what they say in Arabic. This person probably calling a goat and everything else. You disgrace the whole family. Now there was a whole thing, and now they got to put on the face because they know you don't know the language. I'm just saying. And so that's the situation with Yazine and Brittany is not going to work in so many different levels, and that's just being realistic. That people need to be realistic. I know, and again, some people might take this video and get offensive. I know we're all human. But everybody has a certain standard that they can't let go. I mean, in America and Canada and Britain and different places, we all should overcome. And you can blend in with everything, and you will always have someone to support you there. But even they can tell you in their countries, no. What you do over there, you can disgrace the whole. It can cut you off. And it can literally cost you your freedom. Seriously. You can't do the same thing. You can't have that Western mindset. So you're going to marry some Middle Eastern guy or some African guy that come from out of some strict faith like Islam, and his family strictly Islam, and his friends is trying to tell him, or Hindu or something like that. I'm telling you, I don't care how good looking he looks like. He could drop off of a magazine. Let them women deal with that. I hate to tell them, but let them. They know how to deal with that. They know what they're getting themselves into. You're America behind, whether you're white or you're black. You don't know them people like that. Just because they smiled up to you in the store, You don't know how they, well, you're in some stores and businesses like that, but you don't go with some home with some of the people. I'm telling you. You know, I remember it was a situation here where there was a Palestinian. Somewhere we went to school. I went to school with a Palestinian young lady, Palestinian, and I don't know. She got kind of hip, kind of loose in the goose. Well, I don't know what happened. From what I heard, her family kind of like, because she got with the black guy. Let's just say it wasn't good. They got probably cut her off because that's something you of all people, you don't get with no black person. But we're brothers in the faith. I understand that, but some of them people carry a hierarchy mindset, just like how you see some people who are white in America do, because they got a hierarchy over there. That's the truth. And it's like, yeah, they're nice to you because they want they want your business and your money, but reality of it, they might be really cool. They might let you slide. They might, yay, chop the chops with you, but no. So that's my advice to the people that go on that show. Do some research on the people, your country. Understand what they're about. Learn their culture. And I pray that they are learning about your culture, American culture. And I hope that they understand how the way Americans is. That somebody will tell them in their own language how Americans is. So they know what they're getting themselves into when they meet an American person, or a person from Canada, or a person from Europe, England, any one of those other countries. That they understand, and especially if you're going to marry this person. Now, if you're going to sleep around, that's one thing, which I don't advocate sleeping around, but I'm just saying. But if you're going to do that, be wise. So, you can be friends, but at least ask somebody. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, you go to Dearborn, Michigan. There's a lot of people who are different, and there's a whole city up there in a couple places in New Jersey and elsewhere. And make some friends with some Muslim people of the Muslim faith. They will tell you, and just strike up a friendly conversation and get to know them, and they will tell you. Especially if you're going over there as a young American woman and get with one of the men and say, this what do I need to do? You're going to have to convert. And make it easy with the family and the friends, because the family, see, in some countries, family is everything to them. Friends is everything. It's not like our culture here. It's not like our Western as culture. They value family, and it's falling out. The sister brother had to go in between to kind of soften things up between the mother and the father. That's the truth. So this is some advice for those you go on that show, or just those you don't go on that show. Stop getting caught up in the looks of somebody just because they look exotic. I don't care let's say if I go, and there's some beautiful women in, like, let's say Brazil or Colombia. Like I say again, I got to get the understanding. If I go to Brazil, if I go to Colombia, research it down like I don't know what. Get to understand. That's why they encourage you on languages online. So when you get over there, you have an idea that you get the idea what's going on. And a lot of people smarten up in doing that. And if the Brazilians and the Colombians and different people like that come over here, they got to have a realistic approach on American life over here in America, just like Canada and the other places. So it's just that's just my advice on that. So I just wanted to make a video about that. I'm sorry I rambled on too long, but You know, it's just something to think about. It was on my mind. I've been wanting to make this video about this. I've been wanting to make a video this for a long time. I said, this is why some relationships don't work out. Because you don't know. That's one of the main major reasons. And realistically, where the love and the being good in the bed is over, but when you select the looks and the good bedroom, and you're gonna live it with making a nice salary is over. Reality set in. You got to live with this person. So my name is James. Please take this advice. I'm gonna give it. Have a good time for this video. All right, y'all take it care.